Chicago Fire Season 14's cast exodus benefits one character after 13 years. Chicago Fire's upcoming season will see a major cast upheaval, but amid the turmoil of change, one long-standing character is finally going to be able to get the attention they deserve. Chicago Fire Season 14 will see more than one character leaving Firehouse 51, which many have felt may be the perfect way to reset the long-running show moving forward. Throughout the last few seasons of Chicago Fire, viewers have struggled to connect with the storylines on the series, especially as things have moved from being character-driven to being melodramatic. Chicago Fire Season 14 has the opportunity to shift the series back into its former glory, making it clear that there's potential for change as the show moves into new storylines. While some have been hopeful that the series will move away from its sense of melodrama, others are simply hoping to understand what's going to happen with the departure of several of the show's most notable characters. Though the main figures of Chicago Fire, like Kelly Severide, Taylor Kinney, and Stella Kidd, Miranda Ray Mayo, are sticking around, others leaving makes way for different stories. While Chicago Fire Season 14 will be missing familiar faces, including Jake Lockett, who plays Sam Carver, and Daniel Carey, who plays Darren Ritter, one long underwritten character could finally find their time in the spotlight on the upcoming season. Harold Cap, Randy Flagler, has long been a recurring character on Chicago Fire, and his storyline could become a lot larger. With TV insiders sharing that Violet Mikami, Hanako Greensmith, and Lizzie Novak, Jocelyn Houdin, who both work as medics, will be dealing with ambulance calls after an array of firehouse closings, Cap could be a far more important piece of the puzzle than he's been in the past. While Cap has always brought a sense of comic relief, there could be more weight on his shoulders. While the talented cast of Chicago Fire has long been able to step up to the plate and serve interesting storylines from season to season, the show's been sitting on a goldmine of background characters who are ready and willing to step into bigger roles. Cap, who's been on the show for over a decade, has always had the capacity to hold more of the story. Cap and Anthony Ferraris, have long been a reliable duo in the background. But as a part of Squad 3, the pair could be handling bigger storylines on screen. With some characters leaving Chicago Fire, a familiar voice like Cap's can reassure the rest of the team and the audience that the tone of the show isn't changing. When a long-running series like Chicago Fire faces an inevitable cast shakeup, fans often brace themselves for heartbreak. The departures of familiar faces leave loyal viewers anxious about whether the show can maintain the same spark. But sometimes change works in mysterious ways, opening doors for a character who's quietly waited on the sidelines for years. And as Chicago Fire barrels forward into its 14th season, one character finally seems poised to reap the unexpected benefits of a cast exodus: Christopher Herman, David Eigenberg. For 13 years, Herman has been the glue guy of Firehouse 51. He's never been the flashy, dramatic lead that drives the A-story every week. Instead, he's been the heart, steady, reliable, and often comic relief. But with several departures shaking up the roster, Herman now finds himself in an unlikely position, stepping out of the shadows and finally owning the spotlight. The exodus that rocked Firehouse 51. It's no secret that Chicago Fire has lost some heavy hitters over the years. Jesse Spencer's departure as Matt Casey was one of the show's most emotional gut punches. More recently, other exits and scheduling changes have opened up gaps in the narrative fabric of the Firehouse. Fans who've stuck around since day one have noticed the ripple effect, shifts in storylines, restructured dynamics, and new recruits stepping into leadership roles. Yet while newcomers often bring fresh energy, it's the longtime veterans who anchor the series. Losing too many of them too quickly risks destabilizing the world that Dick Wolf carefully built. That's why Herman's consistency is suddenly golden. He's not just another firefighter anymore. He's becoming one of the central pillars holding the team together. Herman, from comic relief to cornerstone. Herman's journey has always been one of balance. From day one, he's been portrayed as the everyman, juggling his bar, Molly's, with his duties at the firehouse and his large family at home. His storylines often blended humor with heart, but rarely did he command the heavy, dramatic arcs that Casey, Severide, exits creating narrative gaps. Herman is sliding into bigger responsibilities. His wisdom, loyalty, and grit are more valuable than ever. Viewers who once saw him as the guy cracking jokes behind the bar now see a seasoned veteran whose guidance shapes the next generation of firefighters. It's a slow transformation, but after 13 years, Herman is evolving from background backbone to front and center leader. Why Herman is the perfect candidate? Some might argue that other long-running characters, like Stella Kidd or Kelly Severide, are already leading the charge, and that's true. But Herman represents something different. Experience without ego. He doesn't chase glory. Herman embodies what it means to serve quietly, letting actions speak louder than words. That humility is rare in a high-stakes drama. Generational bridge. Herman's role as both a father and firefighter makes him the perfect character to mentor younger recruits. His family-centric storylines resonate with viewers who've grown up with him. Comic depth. Where other characters carry trauma-heavy arcs, Herman brings levity without losing depth. He's proof that a show doesn't need to dwell in darkness to stay engaging. Fan loyalty. David Eigenberg's portrayal has earned a dedicated fan base. The audience knows him, trusts him, and wants to see him thrive. In short, Herman is the kind of character who could only rise after 13 years of patiently putting in the work. The Exodus cleared the way, but his foundation of loyalty and relatability makes the payoff possible. A full circle moment. Think about it. Herman started as the scrappy, somewhat bumbling firefighter with dreams of financial security through Molly's. He was never the hero shot guy, but 13 seasons later, he's one of the few constants left at Firehouse 51. In many ways, his rise mirrors the audience's own journey with the show. Fans have grown older with him, watched him stumble and stand tall, and now see him as the steady hand that's endured while so many others have come and gone. This full circle arc feels poetic. Chicago Fire has always been about more than the blazes, it's about the people. And Herman's story proves that endurance, heart, and loyalty can sometimes be the most powerful traits of all. How the writers can use Herman's rise. If the writers lean into Herman's newfound spotlight, the storytelling possibilities are endless. Mentorship arc. Herman could take a new recruit under his wing, guiding them not only through firefighting but also through the life balance struggles he knows all too well. Family-centric drama. His large family has always been a source of storylines. Now, with more space to shine, we could see deeper arcs that tie his personal life more closely to Firehouse themes. Leadership conflict. Imagine Herman clashing with Bowden or Kidd over how to handle a tough situation. His usual role as peacemaker could flip, giving fans fresh layers of drama, health scare or crisis. A personal crisis could put Herman at the center of an emotional arc, testing his resilience and pulling the entire Firehouse around him in support. Molly's expansion. With Molly's already a staple of the One Chicago universe, Herman could explore expanding the business, creating crossover potential and giving the writers new ground to play with. Why this matters for fans. For longtime fans, Herman's rise isn't just rewarding, it's cathartic. Too often, ensemble dramas push veteran characters aside in favor of newer faces, but seeing Herman finally step into the light proves that loyalty pays off, both in story and for the audience. It also reassures viewers that Chicago Fire isn't abandoning its roots. Yes, the cast has changed. Yes, the future is uncertain, but as long as characters like Herman remain, the soul of Firehouse 51 stays intact. Conclusion. The right man at the right time. 13 years is a long wait, but Herman's moment has finally arrived. The cast exodus, while heartbreaking, has created a unique opportunity for him to evolve into the heart and soul lead of Chicago Fire.